Welcome into episode 15, take 2 of the Ramie and Drew show. A couple Milwaukee-based comedians talking sports and whatever other bullshit might come to mind. Drew, we tried this last night after the Bucks lost again, and I was having technical issues over on my side. The internet was just not holding up, so here we are trying it again today. I hope we have better luck.
I mean, it's sunny out right now, so,
That's good.
Shouldn't affect your internet.
That is good. Although I just spent $500 to fix my kitchen sink, so that's bad. This day is off to a bad start, Drew.
Oh, I was like, what does that have to do with your internet?
No, just bad luck. Just bad luck the last couple days. And just in case anybody missed it, or I just froze up so you couldn't see or hear me saying it. My overall takeaway from last night's game was that game was stupid, Drew. I did not like that game from beginning to end, and I'm not losing hope. I'm not getting pessimistic. I'm not going to say this thing is broken or it's not going to work or the Bucks are stupid or John Horst broke this roster, but I was annoyed watching that basketball game last night, almost from start to finish. It got a little better in the second quarter, and then it was all downhill from there.
Yeah, like I said, I would have turned that game off in the third quarter had we not been planning a live stream. That game was probably the least fun I've had watching them this season.
By the way, welcome to sports media. Like that's the difference between just being a fan and doing this is that you can't just turn off the game, especially when you're doing a post-game show. Like you might be able to turn it off and then just read the recap for the rest of what happened next day if you're not doing a post-game show. But if you're doing a post-game show, you're in it start to finish, Drew. So welcome. This is what this is all about.
There were former Milwaukee radio hosts who would cover the Bucks and the Brewers, really like the Packers. I always described it as 3 hours of Packer yap with filler Bucks talk. Won't say Bill Michaels' name, but I hated when he would read the box score and be like, Giannis 5 for 15 from the floor. That ain't gonna get it done. Thanks.
That's great. That's great insight.
1 from 4 from 3. What are we doing?
That is great. That's great insight. No, you need that, man. You need that.
No, like I've said, I would rather have somebody have a hot take and just be completely wrong. I never want to listen to people talk about Chris Middleton's inconsistent, but I want to hear somebody be like, Giannis sucks. I'm like, that's an inconsistent fella. I'm like a buck.
Yeah, have a take. You know what I mean? Have a real take.
One take that I did get, because I was getting texts from actually a lot of our friends, the people I do respect last night too. And even my dad texted me because he was out with some of his
Which he
friends.
Never does. He avoids you at all costs.
No, but he doesn't talk to me about basketball. He'll text me during the baseball season a lot. He's not a big NBA guy, but
he's like me. He's fed up. He's had enough at this point. He's just annoyed.
I think his heart's still broken from 2001, and it hasn't fully. 2001. That whole playoff run. I think that broke him. I was 11, so I was pretty optimistic still.
Yeah,
but
you thought the world was still a good place at that time.
But yeah, my dad said that Giannis looked frustrated when he was sitting on the bench. AJ texted me and said that Damian Lillard was trying to talk to Giannis, and he was just kind of I don't want to hear it right now. I don't blame Giannis because I felt frustrated watching that game too. And Giannis has been throughout all of this Doc Rivers era, if that's what they want to call it, this weird losing streak that they're on. He's been the one bright spot, of just consistently performing, and everyone else has to get their shit together here.
And consistently sort of keeping the message positive. You know what I mean? Yeah. Of hey, we're fine. And even with the Adrian Griffin firing, and he loved Adrian Griffin, and he was sad to see him go on a personal level and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, man, last night, I think from everybody but Robin Lopez, who was unbothered. He was reading a book on the sideline, not paying attention to the game at all. But other than Robin Lopez, I felt the frustration sort of watching that game last night. I think that's dude. That's net. You're 1-5 now under Doc Rivers. You know what I mean? And I don't think anybody's panicking. But yeah, frustration, annoyance is going to start to set in here, man. I think that's just natural. It can be reversed. It can certainly be reversed. I don't think anything's broken or off the tracks anymore, or at this point. But I think that guys are probably frustrated or annoyed at the fact that they can't seem to get this thing right.
Yeah, and I mean, like it's just the inconsistent play. Well, it's not even inconsistent. It's consistently bad from the bench. It's like I said, I try not to use the word inconsistent, but man, I just do not like any of the minutes that we got to watch Pat Connaughton play. That is, I wish I could just blank that out from my mind. Like I'm tired of watching it. He, like I said, last night he had one play where he flew at a guy and he actually got the block from the side. That was kind of nice. And then the ball went to another player, and then he pump faked and jumped into the stands. He almost disrupted Brooke Lopez or Robin Lopez reading his book. That was upsetting.
Don't do that.
This year might have as many blocks on somebody turning a page of a book as he does on a ball, which is 1-to-1 now. I'm beyond frustrated watching a lot of this bench. Pat Beverly, did you see what he tweeted out today?
No, but that brings us to Pat Beverly. What did he tweet out today? I saw yesterday him and Robin Lopez went back and forth. Like Robin Lopez said it was great to be Pat Bev's teammate for all of 45 minutes, and Pat Bev quote tweeted it and said it was an honor and a pleasure. Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, he said Cameron or someone tell Cam Payne to take his damn physical so I can play tonight. So it's like, I know like so many people around the league love him, and everyone says that he's the kind of player that you hate to play against, but like you love him when he's on your roster. So that's like him and Bobby Portis are just going to be just the Bash brothers out there or something doing crazy stuff. Like I'm cool with that.
Yeah, and I think you needed. I don't know if I'm just like, and I've said this about the losing Drew, where I go, hey, no problem here, everything's fine. I don't know if I'm like trying to talk myself into how good a move Pat Bev is, but I think that like we've talked a lot about how important Bobby is to the culture, you know what I mean, of this team and this locker room. But I think that sometimes you need some like an injection of energy and culture, like a Pat Bev can bring to just raise the energy level up. Because yeah, you have that dog with Bobby and that guy who brings that culture and that energy just about every day. But people get complacent. People get used to the same message from the same guy or the same energy from the same guy. I think a guy like Pat Bev, a lot like PJ Tucker did. Remember PJ Tucker's speech at the championship rally after the parade, where he said, "We had the dogs, we just needed to bring the dog out in them," and that's what PJ Tucker did. And I think Pat Bev could have the same sort of impact on this team, and specifically with a guy who I think needs the dog brought out of him in Damian Lillard. And I know they have like some friction and some beef that needs to be settled before everything is okay and great and he can get in Dame's ear. But I think he's the kind of guy that they sort of need, not just on the basketball court, and we'll get into that in just a minute, but I think from an attitude, culture, energy standpoint, Pat Bev might be just what this team needs.
Yeah, I mean, most of all right now with this 1-5 stretch, I just want to see someone else. I want a fresh face out there. I want to see a guy I haven't been looking at for 52 games. Like, I guess they say that Damian Lillard is probably going to be good to go tonight. I mean, all right, so that's 12 points for us. That's good. We'll get those. But like, I'm taking unders on Dame until he just like goes for a 50 ball or something like that. Like this is, I don't know. I'm getting to the point of frustrated. I haven't lost hope, but I am frustrated.
Now, is this more as a daily fantasy player, or is this as a Bucks fan that you're frustrated?
This is a Bucks. The daily fantasy has been great. It's been good. The only players who actually don't ever cover are the Bucks players I bet on, and that's Giannis and Dame, and sometimes Malik Beasley. If I'm like, you know what, do I need to open the fridge today? No. Maybe we can push the bill to next month. We Energy really loves Malik Beasley.
Taking cold showers. We don't need to pay for the hot water around here.
Oh, my condo's got a boiler room, dude. I don't pay for heated water.
Nice.
That's nice. Yeah,
man, that is nice.
No, they're just like, it's like I said, it's just frustrating to watch these games that are, and like there are improvements happening. Like that's not the problem. Like these games haven't looked as bad under Doc Rivers as a lot of these games did under Adrian Griffin. Like we keep beating that drum too. But I'm like, this has to start translating to wins because we're falling in the standings right now. I said last night, I do not want to be a team. I don't want to be a bottom 4, a seed in the playoffs. Like I don't want to be a 5 through 8. I don't think they would be, but I don't even want to start messing around with that because those, like the closer you get to some of those other teams, like I said, Indiana, those fans smell blood. They know that we're struggling. And if it comes to the playoffs and we're kind of limping in there, that's going to be a real hostile environment to go play in, more so than like what it normally would be. And when the Bucks fall behind right now, they play very stupid. Like besides that Dallas game, that was like the most composed they were. But even against Utah, yeah, they were getting tired. They had tired legs. It was a travel day and everything. But we made fun of the Celtics for it. So we gotta take it on the chin too here. They looked frustrated, and it's not even just the shots not falling. It's them throwing the ball out of bounds. It's them just not like the ball movement gets bad and sloppy. Guys start doing ISOs. I'm looking at Chris Middleton on that one, just getting the ball knocked away from them. It's just bad ball.
Drew, even when they're winning, they're playing kind of stupid. They've blown 2 or 3 double-digit leads already under Doc Rivers, and that's not as alarming as maybe it used to be in the NBA because double-digit leads in today's NBA disappear a lot faster than they used to with, how teams are shooting the 3 and the way that defense has sort of gone by the wayside in this league. Double-digit leads are not as safe as they used to be, but they're not playing good basketball when they're winning, and they're not playing great basketball when they're losing either. Like this has been a bad stretch. You're right. There are improvements, and to me, the way that I sort of pull the silver lining out of this is I say, look, man, they're gonna score. Like Dame is gonna snap out of it, and they're gonna be able to score a lot of points, like 130 points just about on a night-to-night basis when this thing is clicking and moving and everything is going. They needed to improve the defense. That was the major problem under Adrian Griffin, and they have. I don't know if it's still the case, but a couple days ago I was reading Eric Name's article about what they'd done defensively since Adrian Griffin was relieved of his duties, and they were top 10 in defensive efficiency. Oh, Drew just dropped out. I'm sure he'll jump back in here in just a minute, but they were top 10 in defensive efficiency. I don't know if they're still there right now, like I said, but I think that's where you needed the improvement, and I think that you'll see that improvement, and especially with the addition of Pat Beverly. And he's not going to be a fix-all, but when it comes to fixing that defense, Pat Beverly will go a long way as far as a guard or a wing guy coming off that bench. And Drew, I know we've talked at length about how we're tired of seeing Pat Connaughton out there. Pat Bev probably takes a few minutes away from Pat Connaughton at that guard or wing position, especially when you need some defense out there.
Well, hell, I think AJ Green might be getting ready to start taking some of those minutes too, because I mean, defensively, he's been pretty good. He got Anthony Edwards, I think, laid a shoulder into him a little bit yesterday, and it didn't really phase him. Like when you get like a player who's pretty much going to be a perennial all-star, I think, with Anthony Edwards, and AJ Green stood in there and took it, and like he didn't foul, he just stood, like he didn't ask for like a charge or anything like that. So and he didn't get knocked off his balance either. Like it was good. Like I think AJ Green might be the solution to Pat Connaughton right now. I know that what I'm afraid of is that Doc Rivers might turn into Bud with this because everyone keeps making the comparison. And in the playoffs, he's going to just rely on the veteran players. But maybe he was telling the truth, too, when he said one of these young guys needs to be a guy that's going to help us. But that also means like it might have to take the time away from Pat Connaughton, and I'm here for it. I'm all for that.
I had this thought today in Cone Roller comments on the YouTube page. You can comment on the YouTube page, tweet us at Ramie is tweeting, at Drew F is on fire, and you can get in on the show. I tweeted out the StreamYard link at Ramie is tweeting for you to get in on the show just a minute ago. But he says, Drew, the bench will be meaningless in the playoffs. It's all on Giannis, Dame, Brooke, and Chris. And it'll be more than just those four guys. But usually in the playoffs, you go 8 or 9 deep on a bench. I don't know what Doc Rivers' history has been as far as how deep he goes into his bench or on his roster during a playoff series, but usually you'll go 8 or 9 deep. And right now, Drew, and like I said, this is assuming that offensively things get clicking again. I'm good with the Bucks' first 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm good with 1 through 8. I do think they need another big somewhere on the buyout market to help with that rotation, to take a little bit off of Brooke and Giannis and Bobby at the 4 and 5. But with the Pat Beverly addition yesterday, I'm feeling pretty good 1 through 8. So I think you add a big, and I'm feeling pretty good about this team, assuming they can get the offense going.
Right. And so, yeah, so Pat Connaughton's sitting outside that 8. And that's the big thing is, yeah, I understand that the bench is going to be meaningless mostly in the playoffs. It's just going to be those guys that have to come in for, a couple minutes and just let one of the starters get a rest. That's all I'm saying. Because right now, when Connaughton's out there, it's bad from start to finish. And it's like, it could be 3 minutes. It could be 8 minutes. It doesn't matter. He looks like trash out there. Like, it's not good. So if AJ Green has to come in and give somebody a rest, like if he has to give Malik Beasley a rest for 3 minutes, I would rather see that. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not looking for AJ Green to make a giant impact out on the court. Just don't have a negative 22, plus minus. Go out there, hold your own. If you're minus 3 or 4 or 5, cool. Like, I'm good with that. I'm not trying to insert this guy into the starting lineup or anything like that. I just want someone that when they come in there, they can hold their own for the time that they need to get the guys who are relying on a couple minutes of rest. That's all I want. Like, I'm not looking for 20 points off the bench in the playoffs from any of these guys.
No. And as far as the trade deadline goes, I know a lot of Bucks fans wanted more. I don't know if there was a move out there that you had your eyes on that they didn't make, but I think they need to go out and get a big on the buyout market. And I don't know, I haven't seen any of the names that are on the buyout market today. They'll start streaming out here pretty soon. But if you can get a big on the buyout market, I'm happy. I'm content with this roster. And if there wasn't necessarily the right move out there at the trade deadline other than Pat Bev, not to mention limited resources and flexibility in terms of what the Bucks were working with, then I'm okay with what happened at the trade deadline yesterday for the Bucks. And quite frankly, nothing else that happened around the East really scared me or made me go, oh, whoa, now the Bucks need to do something about that.
Well, everyone thinks that the Knicks got much, much better. And I'm like, we weren't scared of Bojan Bogdanovic before. It's like, I don't know.
I'm loving watching Knicks fans get excited. Do you enjoy watching Knicks fans get excited as much as I do, just because it's all going to come crashing down? And that's the funnest part. They're one of the most fun fan bases to watch crumble when things go bad for their team.
Well, I think a lot of our newer fans are acting a lot like Knicks fans were. Because, Richard Jefferson said that Knicks fans hate their team more than any fan base in professional sports. And he's like, and he even said it's sad. So I'm like, yeah, I kind of agree with that. It's kind of funny to watch that happen. It reminds me of that Family Guy bit where they said something about, like, I feel like a Mets fan on opening day. And they're like, it's a great new start to the season. And here's the first pitch. It's like crack. And they're like, and the season's over. It's just like, no, I'm not worried about anybody in the East still. I'm not worried about, I'm worried about us. Like, honestly, it's like, if we're going to have these terrible offensive, like, if I wish we were putting up 120 again, like, just to show that we can do it. Denver's a really good team. They took away a lot of good looks from Chris and Dame in that game. So, they had to get more creative with how they were going to score. But other than that, no, I'm not. I'm frustrated. I guess I shouldn't say I'm not too worried. I'm annoyed. I'm just annoyed. Every
That's
word
that's the
out of
point I reached last night where I was annoyed. I was like, I want to turn this game off. It is having a negative effect on my mental well-being and emotional state.
So I think kind of unanimously everybody that I'm seeing is saying this, because like, I mean, we were saying this in the group chat way before the trade deadline even started, but like Bismack Biyombo is kind of like the big that I think a lot of us want.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the guys that we can actually afford too. Because we can't sign anybody that's making over $12 million. So like Marcus Morris is off the table, which that was funny that Philly gave him like the key to the city, and then now he got traded and waived. That's kind of funny. um, but yeah, it's like, so like, and PJ Tucker's not getting bought out anyways, but I think he would have cost too much. So we're not going to get PJ Tucker.
No, actually, I saw Ty Windish tweet yesterday that he would be under the 12 if he was bought out. He would be under the $12 million exception that the Bucks freed up by trading Robin Lopez yesterday. I don't understand, and I'm very upfront and transparent about this NBA salary caps and restrictions and exceptions and everything. I'm just going off what I remember Ty tweeting out yesterday, that they could afford PJ Tucker if he was to hit the market on a buyout, but he's not apparently, and he is not happy about it. I don't know if you saw his Instagram post, but he is not happy about the fact that he's stuck there.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, they're not using him. They haven't been using him. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's just because everybody in the Clippers is such a good two-way player right now. I don't know. Like, it sucks that he's in a situation where he could very well get another ring, but he's not going to be playing at all. So I kind of feel bad for him, but he's also like, what, 38?
Yeah. He would be more of a culture or a locker room addition at this point than he would be a contribution on the court.
But so like what I said last night too, and I know we're gonna go back into the bench talk, because that's all what the trade deadline is for us, is just bench stuff. Mm-hmm. I seriously would want another like a true kind of center, a guy who's there to like rebound and stuff, like Biyombo. And the reason I would want that is just move Bobby to the 4. He can't defend the 5. He's terrible defending really anybody. And maybe if you have somebody else down there to help get rebounds, give a little bit of relief on that end, maybe the offense picks up a little bit. And we can get that 6th man of the year type offense out of him. I'm not looking. Seems like sometimes
I think Drew.
What?
You just froze up there for a second. Repeat what you just said. Sorry.
Oh, I just said that like I would like.
Oh, and now he's gone. Yeah, I'm with Drew on what he's saying. I think a little less Bobby at the 5, a lot less Bobby at the 5, quite frankly, would be a good thing. And yeah, maybe if you ask a little bit less of him, I was just complimenting on or adding on to what you were saying, Drew. Sometimes when you ask a little bit less of a guy in certain areas, you get a lot more from him in other areas. So I think you very well could see an improvement in his offense if you're asking a little bit less of him defensively. So yeah, I'm all for it. If you can get a Biyombo or another big to sort of push Bobby down to the 4 and maybe take a little bit off his plate, so to speak.
Yeah. Like there was a stretch last night that Brooke, Bobby, and Giannis were all on the floor at the same time. And that looked fine. Like, I'm not saying that like you got to play like a hard position, because, you know, basketball is so positionless right now,
right?
Which everyone can kind of do everything. So again, like I'm not saying that it's going to be like a 1-for-1 swap when, like, you know, when bench players come in. You're probably going to always have at least 2 of the starters in there, most likely. Yeah, I'm just trying to like, how do we get this bench to not be bleeding out of every area? You know, that's the problem. Like,
because Cone Roller is right with his comment that the bench will be meaningless or next to meaningless come playoff time. But Drew, like you said earlier, like you want to put yourself in pretty. Now, I don't know if you necessarily have to shoot for the 1 seed every year, especially the way the playoffs have played out here over the last few years. But you don't want to be a 4 or a 5 seed entering the playoffs. And to jockey for that position and put yourself in good position, you're going to need the bench to help out a little bit.
And you want to win these games, and then now we're having health issues again. Like Middleton unfortunately rolled his ankle. I don't think we see him until after the All-Star break. Because they're gonna have to bubble wrap him again because he was coming off his damn minutes restriction. He was playing great, and then this just unfortunately happens. It's just a bad break. But like, god damn it, like. So for right now to maintain our footing, and I would like to say the top 3 seeds at least. Like I don't even want to sit in the 4, but like getting those top 3 seeds, yeah, we need this bench currently to just hold this shit together until we can rely on everybody again.
Yeah,
and it's just there's like I said, they're just bleeding everywhere. Last night I said that. Let's see here.
You can just keep talking. You don't have to read the banner every time I change it.
Well, I like to read it. Like it's nice. Like I'm just happy. And this is Tack Beast. Tack Beast also was the guy that was last night because you couldn't say his name. So I got excited when he popped up because I'm like, hell yeah, dude, this guy's got a Call of Duty name. That's awesome. So.
Well, go ahead and read it now since you already started.
Well, yeah, it's like I can already see the graphics of how bad the Doc era started comparing to when they are in the NBA Finals. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's gonna absolutely be like they started off 1-5 or 2-5. I'm gonna bank on a goddamn win tonight. You know what? I'm placing the overs. My whole paycheck's going on Dame Lillard tonight. We're hitting the over. I'm in a psychosis. I have a psychosis right now. Like I woke up with a scratchy throat. I feel like I'm going to start sounding like Doc Rivers pretty soon.
Yeah. Do you have a fever? Are you just going to start making bad decisions with like a crazy dangerous fever?
Ramie, I've been doing stand-up comedy in Milwaukee for over 10 years. I'm the king of bad decisions. If there's anything I don't know how to do, it's budget anything, whether it's my time, my money.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Which I think, unless you had more on the Bucks, I think is as good a time as any to transition to a little Super Bowl talk and what we might be doing with our money come Sunday, Drew, because the Super Bowl is on Sunday. Like it's Friday and the Super Bowl is on Sunday. And I don't know that we've really even talked about it other than when we had Eric Wheelo on the show from the Up and Adams show on Monday. And by the way, you can go back and listen to that on Spotify, YouTube, and now Apple Podcasts. Find the Ramie and Drew show wherever you get your podcast. But Drew, before we get into the gambling, any feeling as to which way this game is going to go? Do you care what happens in the game on Sunday? I just want like good football and to eat way too much food. That's all I'm trying to do on Sunday. Quite frankly.
I mean, I'm going to make my chili. I think I'm going over to Brandon's house and I'm going to watch the game. Because I don't know of anybody else around here that's doing something, so I might just hang out with Brandon. And I'm going to make chili. Like I like my chili a lot. Like yeah, you had it, so I'm gonna crush that. That's gonna be nice. That's gonna be a good time. They'll probably have snacks and stuff, and beer. Other than that, like. I think the Chiefs are just going to win.
You got the Chiefs because right now they are 2-point underdogs against the 49ers.
I'm not ruling out the Chiefs. I think we said this also with like when Wheelo was on. I don't know how you bet against Super Bowl Mahomes and Kelsey.
Yeah,
I just don't. My feeling is going to go with them. I kind of also. It's weird because like I want to hate them. Because they're like the dynasty now, but I want to see the dynasty, especially now with basketball, how like the Golden State Warriors dynasty is dying. I want a dynasty. I don't care what sport it's in.
I don't get why people like there are teams I hate. You know what I mean? I don't want a Packers dynasty. That would make me upset as a Bears fan. You know what I mean? I would have to. Somebody would have to like put a suicide watch on me if there was a St. Louis Cardinals dynasty. That's not something that I ever want. That I ever want to see. I never want to see that in my life. But like, when did Patrick Mahomes? And I think he's sort of beating this drum to motivate himself to some degree. But when did Patrick Mahomes become like the villain? Or the bad guy that people are rooting against. You know what I mean? I don't get it. He's as likable and as easy to root for as Giannis in my opinion. Like, there's almost nothing to not like about Patrick Mahomes, at least to this point, that we know about him.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like, yeah, the rest of his family is a disaster, but like he seems like and like I like Travis Kelce. I don't have an issue with him, and I don't have an issue with the Taylor Swift thing either. Like, oh, last night I went to the High Note because my girlfriend was working, and I just went and hung out after we tried to do the live stream, and one of her friends that was there to do karaoke, he asked me if I cared about like who was going to win the Super Bowl or whatever. I was like, yeah, I think the Chiefs. He's like, oh, I just hate the Chiefs. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I was like, I don't know why they're so hateable, I guess, because they've won. And he just goes, I'm just so sick of the Taylor Swift thing. Now, here's the kicker. The guy that I was talking to, very, very openly gay. And I'm like, can you hate Taylor Swift? I was like, I did not expect John to just straight up hate. Like, I went to his wedding and everything. Like, I would have never pegged that dude as a fucking I hate Taylor Swift dude. I was like, what? Like,
you can't stereotype. You can't stereotype. You can't judge a book by its cover. You know what I mean?
But then I was going back in my mind. I'm like, wait, at their wedding, did I hear any Taylor Swift? And I can't recall it. Like, maybe she did something to him. And I was like, I don't know, because that was like the biggest disagreement that I've ever had with this guy. Like, I was like, I was trying to I kept trying to figure it out. Like, I'm like, why do you hate her? He's like, oh, I'm just sick of her shit. And then he went up and did karaoke. I'm like, well, you like all right.
What did he sing? What did he sing at karaoke?
Oh, dude, he does like New York and stuff like that. Like, he does some Sinatra, like, pretty good. Yeah.
All right. Nice. Yeah, I mean, who cares if she's a psyop for the Biden campaign? You know what I mean? Well, I don't know why people are so upset about this.
Oh my God! If Taylor Swift changes the election, if Taylor Swift election interference is worse than Russia, that's gonna be funny. Like,
the Taylor effect is real. Like, if she endorses, I saw some survey that said that like almost 20% of her fans said that if she endorsed a candidate, they would vote for that candidate. And 20% of Taylor Swift's fans is a lot of fucking people, dude. You know what I mean? That's a lot of people. So it would, I don't know if you'd call it election interference. Like, she's allowed to endorse whoever she wants. It's completely within the confines of the law and our election system. If she did endorse a candidate, and I'm guessing it'd be Biden, it would have an effect on the election. We're talking about millions of votes going to Joe Biden because of what Taylor Swift said.
Do you know how confusing it would be for everybody, especially the Swifties, but even people like me, if she came out and was like, I endorse Donald J. Trump. And you got little girls at the mall that are like all that would be like, what? You got girls take it off and they're also voting for Trump. That is hilarious.
MAGA crop tops.
I'm very openly libertarian, man. Like, I know, like, my team is not winning it. Being libertarian is being a Milwaukee Brewers fan. My team can never win anything, and I just hate the rest of you. That's all that
means. MAGA crop tops are the hottest new item.
Oh my
God. That would be outstanding. All right, so I already told you that the Chiefs are 2-point underdogs. You're obviously taking the Chiefs just to win, just to flat out win. So I would take them plus the 2. I don't know. I got a feeling that the 49ers get this one, man. And I'm not rooting either way for or against Patrick Mahomes or Taylor Swift or anybody else. But I just got a feeling, dude, that this 49ers team, that roster has been so stacked for the last, 4 or 5 years. And it just keeps getting more stacked. Like, eventually they gotta win a Super Bowl with as good as that roster is up and down. They got blue chip players at every level on both sides of the ball. It's when you look at that roster, it is an insanely good roster up and down.
Yeah. I guess I'm going to root against them too because they keep beating the Packers. Like the 49ers are the Packers to the Packers as the Packers are the Bears to the Bears. You know, like that's I'm tired of them. I don't want to like them. They hurt. They really hurt Jordan Love. You know, and I love Love. So
don't we all? The over-under is 47.5 points, Drew. Over-under, combined over-under is 47.5. How are you feeling about that?
I'd take the under on that one, maybe. Because 49ers defense is pretty good. Like I was
both
thinking,
these defenses.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess like Purdy is the one that I don't know if he's going to get it done. I know everyone's like, he's the big story and everything. I think the Chiefs defense will like really kind of hold him down a little bit, especially because, you know, everyone's been bringing up how much the Chiefs defense got them where they are this year. It wasn't the offensive onslaught all year long. But again, this is just the last game of the season. I think Mahomes is going to be able to work some magic here. I can see like a game be like, I can see like a 24-17 game or something like that. Like, I think it'll be close, but I don't think they even get near 50 points. Like total.
Yeah, I think 47.5. Dude, Vegas knows what they're doing because 47.5. I was going to say 20. Yeah. Before I even saw that, I was going to say 27-20, which is like right there. You know what I mean? It's like, that's right where they set the line. So I guess I'd take the under, but I wouldn't feel great about it. I love weird bets at the Super Bowl. Fastest offensive ball carrier, Drew. Miles per hour. Who will be the fastest offensive ball carrier on Sunday? Christian McCaffrey, the favorite, at plus 400, followed by Brandon Ayuk at 550. Rashid Rice is a plus 550. Ray McLeod is plus 750. Who's going to be the fastest ball carrier on Sunday, Drew?
So, is this average speed or who has like one run that is like
average? No, one run. It's one run.
Oh, I'm going to go with McCaffrey.
Yeah, I would agree.
If he breaks loose on like just like one, because you're gonna have to like to be the fastest, you're gonna have to go like probably 8 to 10 yards to get to like a solid head of steam here, right? Like,
yeah, it has to. You need to get out in the open field and really get to top speed.
You could absolutely run like a bat out of hell right into a wall of fat dudes. Like, yeah, of course. Like, so. I don't think that's going to count as a run. I think you got to go positive yards, but if you're going positive yards, you also got to get by everybody. So I'm going to go with, I'm like if he just shoots a gap, I think it's going to be him.
I don't understand. I'm on DraftKings right now, and this is presented completely without context. Will there be an octopus? It's plus 1,300, yes. Minus 4,000, no. What is that even referring to? At the halftime show? Is Usher known to bring out an octopus? How is an octopus involved in this?
What is the halftime show? It's Usher? Is he doing like that weird
Usher? Like, somebody sent this to me the other day. It's Usher, but he has a bunch of
or something now? Like, what's happening?
He has a bunch of guests with him. Hold on. I have it. Somebody sent this to me the other day. I have it here in my phone. Usher. He's also going to have Reba McEntire with him, Post Malone, and Andra Day.
Well, Post Malone.
And Gwen Stefani. And Gwen Stefani.
Ooh. Rich Girl. Remember that? Remember that song?
Yes.
Yeah, so Gwen Stefani, maybe there's something, she'll be on like a pirate ship and there'll be like an octopus. Like maybe it's the Kraken. I don't know. Like,
I don't understand. What? And by the way, that's in the middle of like a bunch of actual game props. Like it's not in the weird. It's not in the weird like novelty props. It's in the actual game props. Well, is this a gambling term that I don't know about? Is an octopus like some sort of statistical achievement? Why is there a bet? If somebody can tell us in the comments, or if you just want to jump in on the StreamYard, what is the bet? Will there be an octopus for which it's a plus 1,300. Yes, I'm so confused.
To go back to almost the Christian McCaffrey thing that I said, what constitutes an octopus? Is it the full octopus? Is it the totality? Is it all 8 arms?
I have no idea.
Or is it, or with the octopus, is it like it's just a tentacle again?
I don't know. Drew, color of the first Gatorade poured on the winning head coach. Let's see here. The favorite is purple at plus 250. Clear is the underdog at plus 1,000. Other options are yellow or green, blue, no Gatorade bath, red or orange. Do you have any idea what color the Gatorade will be?
Yellow. I'm gonna go
yellow.
I'm gonna classic lemon lime. Because the white,
I'm going red.
The white one is that's the cherry glacier one, right?
I don't know. I've never had it. I'm going red. Both these teams wear red. You would think it would only make sense that it was red, right?
No, because the fruit punch, I don't know. Like the fruit punch one, nah, that's a good one. That's a sipping one. That's good. Like that's like the craft beer of. You're not trying to rehydrate on that. You use the frost, like the blue frost, the glacier freeze, which is the purple one. That the white one, first of all, the white one looks like cum. I don't like that. But
I knew you were about to go there before the words even left your. I knew you were about to go there.
It's cloudy. I don't like it. It looks. It's white and it tastes like cherry. It's just the devil made it. I don't like it.
Okay. Let's just go. Let me run through this real quick before we wrap it up because I think this is right up your alley. You're more an NBA guy than an NFL guy. Who will score a field goal first? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander versus Sacramento on Sunday, or will it be Rashid Rice to score the first touchdown? So will Shai Gilgeous-Alexander score the first field goal in that game, or will Ray Rice score the first touchdown, or Rashid Rice, score the first touchdown in that game, Drew? Which way are you going on that?
I'm going to go with SGA.
Who will have more, Boston Celtics team points at Miami on Sunday, or Kansas City Chiefs team rushing yards?
Say that one again.
Will the Celtics score more points than the Chiefs have rushing yards? These are actual bets you can lay down at DraftKings right now. So more Celtics points or Chiefs rushing yards?
The Celtics are at Miami?
Yes.
Fuck. I'm gonna go Chiefs rushing yards because every time I place a bet on the Celtics, they fuck me. So no, I'm gonna go with
Who will score more points Sunday? The Kansas City Chiefs or Kristaps Porzingis against Miami?
Chiefs.
Who will score more points? San Francisco 49ers or Jimmy Butler against Boston? Why are all these Boston and Miami related?
There's probably only like 3 games going on.
Yeah,
and
that's
fuck
true.
would do that. Like, why they should just not have basketball on Sunday.
I agree.
I'm gonna go with Jimmy Butler because I picked Jimmy Butler will probably score 19 to 22 points. I'm putting the 49ers. I said 17 points. I'm gonna stick to my original what I thought they were gonna do.
All right. That'll just about do it. You got the Bucks winning tonight. You were all fired up earlier. Has that worn off, or you good? You still sticking to your guns on that?
I'm gonna say that they're gonna win. Who the hell is left on Charlotte right now? They just got rid of PJ Washington. They got Miles Bridges. And
I don't know. This is a game. This is a game they should win. And you said Dame's back tonight.
That's what it sounded like Lisa Byington was saying last night, I think.
Nice. All right. Well then, yeah. This is a game that they should win. I agree with
you. They don't have Terry Rozier anymore. Jesus Christ. Now I'm just having like traumatic flashbacks to that Portland game. I'm like, oh man, is this
No, they got this. They got this. Go enjoy your afternoon and then enjoy a Bucks win tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry.
All right. No, don't cry. Don't cry. Everything's fine. Don't cry.
Ugh.
All right.
Man.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
That's Ramie and Drew, episode 15, take 2. Worked much better this time. We'll talk to you next time.